Hi, I'm Domingo Estrada.
And I'm Katie Estrada.
And together we are Two Strads in a Pod.
Hello. Welcome back. It is episode 4. And today our topic is yin and yang. How we are polar opposites from one another and mostly everything. And why it works. But before we get into that, we're going to talk about our highs for the week.
Yeah, so my high for this week is I found another place to go play basketball at, a new open gym, because the one that I was going to has been off for like 3 weeks for other various stuff. So I found one that I can actually go to. And I already went last week, so I know it's not like a hope this time, but it's actually real this time.
My high for the week is being able to get back into the gym after being out for a week because we were snowed in. Couldn't get there. The ice was roads. The roads were iced over and all of that. So I didn't want to risk it for the biscuit and stayed home. Tried to be as active as possible with like taking the dogs out for snow walks. Not my favorite. I freaking hate being cold, but made it work, and getting back in just felt really good. The gym is like not just for physical fitness, but for my mental health as well. It was good.
Yeah. It was good times. We went today too. So.
Yeah.
Speaking of like yin and yang, though, I think that like the idea of yin and yang being, two opposites, kind of working together, I think that there's probably a lot of different ideas and opinions on whether or not you absolutely have to have all of the same values and all of the same everything for a marriage to work. And I do think that the idea, like, again, of yin and yang really comes to play for us, because we do have those differences, but we do also have a lot of shared common interests too. So it's not like we're just strictly, complete opposites of each other. We do have some things that work together for us. Do you want to get into our similarities first and then go to differences from there?
Yeah. I agree, though. I don't think that we have to be limited to a box that isn't made for us. I think that a lot of people have a hard time finding the person that they're supposed to be with because they are searching for somebody that is like similar as them in literally everything, when their person could very well be in a completely different box that has a totally opposite set of ideals. And I think that includes spiritually, politically, even like different senses of humor or
like
hobbies.
When I'm funny and
you're not funny.
I'm the funny one.
No, you're not.
I'm the funny guy.
No, you're not. But we're coming up on 12 years together, and 11 years of marriage, and I think we have proven that we don't have to have the same everything all the time. I think our marriage would actually be really fucking boring, and
if everything was exactly the same.
Yeah, and I don't think that we would have been able to discover different parts of ourselves either.
I think that also kind of goes into another episode that we could do, or at least something we could touch on, is like, having different like hobbies and stuff like that. Not only is it, again, like the polar opposite thing, but it's also, I think, important to have like, me time, individual time and stuff like that. And so I think that having those opposite value or those opposite hobbies and stuff like that kind of plays into, that reason for you to kind of have some of your alone time, which I think is good.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, again, if every single one of our hobbies were exactly the same and we were always just constantly doing everything together, I don't think it would leave a whole lot of room for us to do those things that we enjoy doing, like on our own and stuff like that. Because for me, I think that's important to maintain your identity, your personal identity, while also still having that, that married identity as well.
Yeah.
Which I do know is something that you struggle with a lot, especially like, I think right before It Works came in to your life.
Ew, let's not even talk about that fucking shitty company. Like, ew.
I meant before network marketing came into your life.
Okay, that's better.
I know that you had felt kind of like, you were just put into this box of sit at home, mom, and that's it, and nothing else. And I think that that was kind of a low point for us as a couple, as a married couple, knowing that like I went to go to work and play basketball and stuff like that, and you kind of didn't really have your own identity at that time.
I didn't. Not really. Sorry, I'm like really distracted by the gargling in my stomach because I started taking this probiotic that has like digestive enzymes and ox bile in it, and to break down a lot of my like food allergens that I cannot avoid. And it is like
it's rumbling over here. Like I can physically feel it.
My whole body is shaking from it. It's just throwing me completely off my thought process. We should just let my stomach have the floor. Just
take it away. I think a big difference for us too is sort of like the spiritual identity that you have.
Well, back up. I didn't even get to touch on my actual thought because my stomach interrupted.
Well, I didn't want there to be a lull in the audio.
I was about to talk and then you just started talking.
Go for it.
I think too, like, because both you and I are reclusive. And that's something that we do have in common. Like, we like to have our silence, our alone time. Like, we get overstimulated by too many people and talking too much and all of that. And so we just like to be. And so having our own hobbies and interests and stuff, being able to have that time, I feel like that's one really, really important key thing for us. Because, and I mean, like, if we enjoyed doing all of the same things together all the time, honestly, like, when we go on dates or do the things that we enjoy, I don't think we would enjoy it as much.
Yeah. Like, I enjoy, letting you do, because I know you enjoy going out and getting pictures and stuff like that. And we went out together, what was it, like last weekend or whatever it was?
Mm-hmm.
And, I had fun, but I know that you probably would have had way more time, way more fun if I hadn't been, like, pushing you for time to, like, hey, let's go, we're hungry, stuff like that, like.
Oh, you guys were actually, like, low-key irritating the heck out of me.
Yeah, so, I mean, I enjoy supporting you in your hobbies and stuff like that, but I also enjoy letting you go do your thing well. That way we're not, like, like, hey, let's go. You can actually have the time to do the things that you like to do.
Yeah, because, like, we went and saw the seals last Sunday, and it was magical. It was everything, but like him and Zephyr were cold, they were hungry, they were tired of just standing there. They're really not into just watching nature the way that I am, and I like that stuff gives me adrenaline, and so I was like, what is weather? I can't feel anything. I don't know what you're talking about. It's not cold. Like, I'm just in the moment and I want to watch these seals because it's the most amazing thing ever, and I'm like literally like crying at their existence because I love them so much, and you guys are like, let's go. And so like I was trying really hard not to get annoyed, but also like trying to respect you guys too.
On a side note, afterwards we went and got some food, and when did fast food become $50 for 3 people? That's insane.
Yeah, that was just Carl's Jr.
That's its own separate issue. The same. That was because it was the same day.
Yeah, but anyway, other ways that were like similar, though, I think we do really have a similar sense of humor. I think that if we didn't have a similar sense of humor with the way that you and I joke, especially like our dark humor, I don't think we would last very long. Like,
if one of us was throwing like dark humor at the other one, and you were just like, "Is everything a joke to you?" Like, I think it would get old real fast.
Yeah.
And cause problems.
Yeah. Well, because there are certain individuals that I know too that you would joke with them like that, and then they would just get so annoyed at you and like didn't want to be around you very often. I'm not going to name names on here. I'll tell you later. I'll tell you the tea later. But like,
I believe it.
There's a reason they don't come around anymore. because they just can't hang. And I don't like when I can't just
We don't even have people over anyway.
say things. But yeah, so our humor, and then we both come from pretty traumatic childhoods, and so I think that you and I have like that level of empathy for each other, and it has, I don't want to say trauma bonded because that has a completely different definition. However, like I think having that in common really did bring us together, because we both needed that type of support, and because we needed that type of support, we also knew how to give that type of support.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. And then what else? We have a mutual interest in keeping our child alive.
That I'm interested in, yeah.
So we have that going for us. Lucky kid. No, I enjoy parenting with you most of the time. Sometimes I want to wring your neck, but
I mean, I've seen some posts from some friends and stuff like that. Parents who are completely unable to co-parent and stuff like that.
And they're married. Some of them are married.
Yeah, I mean, the ones that I've seen, they're not together anymore. But I just mean like some of the co-parenting out there is awful, and so. Yeah, that's definitely something that like we got to come together, and like obviously we're gonna have different like styles to a certain extent on how to parent and stuff like that. So I think that's another good just example of yin and yang all in itself is just you like the way that we parent. It's the whole idea.
It's very different.
The concept is still the same. Like I mean, like we're still trying to like keep the child alive.
Yeah,
that's important. But just the way that we go about it can be different sometimes. So it's that like.
Yeah.
Building off of each other, but also building with each other.
Yeah, like we know we're teammates, and like when you have a team, there's different dynamics to every single team. It's like his basketball team that he coaches. Everybody has their own special talent and their own weak spot, and so because we do parent differently, like, but we still work as a team, like we're able to parent off of one another's strengths and weaknesses. And luckily, my weaknesses are his strengths and his weaknesses are my strengths. So I think that that's a good thing. Fitness, we like trying to be fit.
That is, I mean, that's always been something that we've done together for the most part.
Yeah, I think that's why, like, partially, like, why it's been so hard to adopt fitness routines, because your schedule and my schedule do not sync up the way that they used to, especially now that you're coaching basketball, and so we just don't have that.
Like it used to work out really well because I'd come home, pick you guys up, we'd go, and then obviously he'd go to the kids club, but now that he feels like he's too old for that, he doesn't want to do that anymore. So and I know that you would much rather go like in the mornings, which I get it. Like it makes sense. If I could go in the mornings, I would when there's fewer people there. This is not really one of the options because I'll be at work.
Yeah.
But whenever we do, like today, we got to go together.
Yeah, and it's always a good time. And then like even if we're not doing the same things, just like being able to look across the gym and see one another, like I think it pushes us to be better and do better at the gym.
I feel like I got a good workout in today.
Yeah. We also really, really strive to see one another happy. Like, I don't think that it's my responsibility to make you happy, but if I can contribute to the things that bring you joy, even if it's something that isn't an interest to me, because just for the sake of knowing that it's going to make you happy, like, that's everything to me. And you are the same way.
Yeah, I believe it.
Like, it's like with your music production, like, I get the concept of it, but like, obviously, I don't know how to use your software, and I'm not into making beats and all of that, and I don't know how to play a bass guitar. But you do, and it brings you an immense amount of joy. So helping you build your music room and getting you instruments and all of that stuff I'm always like looking for the latest and greatest things to give you to put in here.
Yeah, and like I don't know anything about photography whatsoever, but I got you that camera, and then I know you wanted the action camera, which I don't think you've taken out yet, have you?
Not yet.
I got you that and stuff like that, and I know that you like enjoy going out and doing that, and I don't mind when you're because like if you're gonna go out and do that, it's like I know that you're doing something that you enjoy, and so it's it's not really a problem for me to let you go and have that time.
Well, and you also got me my my art table and like canvases.
There was also that tracing thing that I got you, but I don't think it worked out very well, did it?
No, it did. It's my light board, and I love it. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's good for transferring images onto canvas.
Did I get you the Cricut, or did you get that?
Oh, I got myself the
Cricut.
Okay, yeah, that was actually an impulse buy.
That's another way we're different. You don't mind impulse buying.
Well, I do now. It was more so like when I was taking all of that medication, and it was like giving me mania. And so literally, like, I could not help but go out and spend $300 every day on things. But yeah, and then the last one that I thought of was the desire to become better together and as individuals.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, it really kind of is summed up with everything that we just said. It's kind of like summarizing everything, bringing it all together, us working individually and together for the better of, not only ourselves, but as the family unit and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that it also, like, gives Zephyr a really good example of what to look for in a partner when he's older, too. Because I didn't have a very good example growing up. And so for a long time I picked not nice people or, people that made me feel less than worthy. And like I had to fight for their attention and their love and all of that stuff. But then I found you, and now I don't have to do that anymore. How nice.
You kind of remind me of a cat, though, because sometimes you will, like, require and demand my attention and intimacy, but then other times you're like a cat that's just got thrown in water, and you're just angry and pissed off.
Fun fact.
Is this fact actually going to be fun, though?
Yeah, it is. The black cat is my Patronus term.
Oh. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. So what ways would you say that we're different?
I know that you're deep into like spiritual things, like you're into.
You don't even know.
I know. I'm trying to not. I don't know. Do I just make fun of your crystals?
Oh, well, don't make fun of them.
I mean, you got me the one. I don't know. Can you see it in the? No, I don't think you can see it in the shop. But there's one.
It's a carnelian stone.
You got me one, yeah.
And it says it's full of powerful, motivational, and creative energy and is helpful in restoring confidence so that you can reach your full creative potential. And I got him this to put in his music room so that way when he is, in here creating music.
This looks like an avocado pit.
It gives off energy. No, it doesn't.
I like it. I like having it in here.
But it's supposed to give off creative vibes so you can create better music.
And I know that you're like big into that and you believe in it and everything. And I have it in here because it reminds me of you and it makes me think about you. But I don't have the same like faith in spirituality and crystals and manifestation like you do.
Well, I knew that you weren't going to have the same like belief in the stone like I do, but like that was the point. Like I just wanted you to like just think of me when you looked at it.
You do.
Good.
What else? What else do you got?
I think we're different politically.
I think that a lot of people think that you have to have the same political views as your partner always 24/7. And I think sometimes people will limit themselves in that regard because they'll be like, well, I've got, I go this way. My partner has to also go this way. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And then they'll limit themselves and they'll find, maybe somebody who does have that view, but does not meet any of the other boxes. Maybe they're not compatible in any other way other than they vote for the same person.
Yeah, and I'm like majorly politically independent. I think I've made that pretty obvious, but I'm not, and I think it's obvious because I'm not in anybody's face about it.
Yeah.
Like, I just develop my own opinions based on what I observe and experience in my life. I don't let anybody sway me politically. If somebody comes at me talking trash, all of that, calls me like a liberal snowflake. Somebody literally called me a liberal snowflake on Facebook in the Woodland group because I said I love seals.
I think I did see that.
I was like, what?
There was another
What?
one, there was another one too in the listener group.
But
This
it's
was
like,
a long time ago when the squatters were moving in and they had Florida license plates and some guy said something about like you being a liberal snowflake because the squatters were from Florida, a red state. And your post had nothing to do with political identity whatsoever. It was just you were just saying like, "Hey, there's squatters here in the center, just so you know." And the guy was like, "Yeah, you're a little snowflake because they're from MAGA country and you're not." I was like, "What does that have to do with the post?"
like literally nothing. The problem was so much bigger than their Florida plates. I actually love Florida. Thank you.
It was probably, I'm assuming, maybe a rental or something. Who knows?
But I just believe that people should be able to believe whatever they want to believe and not be chastised over it, blocked over it by their own family, belittled, or anything, you
I
know.
mean, I do too. I don't think that.
And well, like, and we're same in that regard, but I think, like, if we were to hold our voting ballots up, they would look pretty different.
Probably.
Because, like, I'm one of those people that's like, oh, yeah, I can go across the aisle, and you're less like that.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know you have your own set of religious beliefs too. Not necessarily any one particular church specifically, but I know that you've got your beliefs of something.
Yeah, so I actually am non-denominational. Like, I believe that there is some sort of higher power, and just because it's what I've always called it, it's God to me, but it's not the same, like, super Christian or Catholic biblical God. Um, like, I think that everything is interconnected. I do believe that there's magic, but not like the magic in a sense of wands.
Fireballs.
Yeah, like, I love Harry Potter. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, but I'm not over here like, oh, muggles. I'm not waiting for my Hogwarts letter or anything like that.
And it's a little, they might have got the wrong address.
I think I don't think they would have got the wrong address.
Was
They
there
wouldn't
wait,
do me
was
like
there was there a school in the United States?
Yes.
Was there?
Yes. There were schools all over the world. But I believe everything is interconnected and that magic is energy. It's the inner communication between things, and like there's just so many it's almost hard to explain in a way that other people could even like really understand it. But there's just so many like insane natural phenomenons that happen to where like there's no way that there's not magic, you know. I think intuition is magic in and of itself, like being able to tune into like your clairvoyance is magic.
Yeah, see, and then me on the other hand, I don't believe in things like karma or like
Oh, I do.
things. I don't think that.
Reap what you sow.
Yeah, I don't. I think that everything that happens for something. It can be. How do I say it? Like it can be measured or it can be um, defined
Cause
why
and
and how
effect.
it happened. Yeah, like I
Well,
don't
that's
think.
what karma is cause
No, no,
and
no. I mean,
effect.
like scientifically, it can be proven why it happened. Like, I don't believe that if I do something, I don't know, like let's say I give a homeless man $1, I don't think that, the next day I'm going to get a huge unexpected deposit in my bank account. Like, that's not how I think things work. I don't think that you do something good and good things happen. You do something bad and something bad happens. I just think that you did something and then that's it. It's its own separate event. And then you get something good that happened. It's its own separate event. Like those two things are not connected to each other.
See, and that's where I'm different. Is like I don't think I'm gonna get a huge lump sum of money either if I give a homeless person $1.
I didn't mean that
But
exact
I
example.
know,
I
I
just meant
know,
like something good.
I know. But like I believe that it's the energy transference. Like whatever you are putting out, like you are expecting back in some way. Or asking for back. Like, I don't know how to word it though. It's magnetism. And so, however you show up in the world is how, um, not everybody, because yes, bad things happen to good people, but I think that you open yourself up to more goodness because whatever you seek, you shall find. And it's just magnetism and energy. I don't know, like I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, I'm not into
It's a very internal, like it's a feeling.
To me, you seem like the type of person that would believe in like voodoo dolls. I'm not saying you do, but I'm just saying you
I
seem like
don't.
the type of person that would.
I don't believe in voodoo dolls. I'm not that crazy. That's for me, that's like that would be what I consider an extremist.
Yeah, but all in all, I think that the reason why it works out so well is because you and I we have strengths and we have weaknesses, and we build upon like each other's strengths and weaknesses, but we also have enough common ground that we can like there's a strong enough foundation for us to build off of that our differences aren't so like so massive that that they can't be overcome or whatever.
I think too, like we have a similarity like with our kindness and gentleness. And so I think that's one reason why like our opposites work is because we're not willing to be unkind to one another over them. Like we just accept one another. We have that natural level of tolerance for people who are different than us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Move on to questions.
Yeah.
Did you have one? Because I had. Let me see.
You're gonna get your phone out and look.
Yeah, it was. I wanted to do this one. What are some of the things that you are most grateful for?
Some of the things that I'm most grateful for. Oh man, that's a big question.
I mean, there's a lot, really. But then again, we have, nearly 12 years of time together. And
I think it might sound a little bit cliche, but I am grateful for all of the hardships that I had to go through in life because honestly, if I hadn't gone through them, it wouldn't have taken me down the path toward you. Sometimes I get a little bit down about my mom. Like, I grew up with my mom being sick most of my life, to this day, actually. And because she was sick, like I ended up in foster care, and then Um, Crazy things happened in foster care. Then I had to go move up with my dad, and then crazier things happened up with my dad, and so then I ended up back in foster care, and then crazy things happened in foster care again, and then I ended up back with my mom after her liver transplant. And I had gotten held back in the seventh grade for not going to school because I was too afraid to leave. Like, I thought that if I went to school, one day I would come home and like my mom would be in a body bag or something being taken away. Like that's how deathly ill she was. So I didn't go to school for months and it held me back. And because I got held back, though, I met your brother when I moved back. But if I would have never gotten held back, then that would have never happened. I would have never met him. Probably never in a million years would have met you, and we wouldn't have the life that we have today. So I'm grateful for all of that.
I mean, I feel like we would have just been random neighbors that, I mean, I didn't know anybody else that lived in that apartment complex, so I wouldn't have met you.
Yeah.
It's really unlikely that it would have, like, I mean, who knows? Maybe I would have, like, because I could see into your window. Maybe I would have just, like, watched you. You would
Well,
have no idea.
I was a party girl, so I probably would have been like, what are they doing up there?
We were loud. Like, that's. I'm surprised we didn't get kicked out sooner.
I'm
Because of
surprised
how
the
loud
cops
we
only
were.
came once.
Because of how loud we were. That was insane. I think the thing that I am most grateful for is all of this booty meat that you have.
Oh my god.
That for me is probably number one. But number two, I think, would have to be all of the love and support that I've gotten from like you and Zephyr over the years. And like, I know that in the video they can't really see it, but behind you there's a whole bunch of instruments. I've got keyboards and all of this gear and stuff like that, like the stuff that we're using right now for this. All of it either came from you or came like with your support, and you weren't like, no, we can't do that, we can't swing that, can't afford it. You were always like, I know things are
Find a
tough.
way.
Things are tough. Maybe, we might have been behind on bills, but you're like, well, I know that you want this because you can use it for your music and stuff like that. So all of the support and stuff that you've given me over the years for that, taking me, going with me to my basketball games when I was in the Portland League and all of that other stuff. So I think that's the thing that I'm most grateful for.
I like that. Oh. My question is, if you could change one thing about me, what would it be?
Oh, man.
Is that an oh man? Like, oh shit, there's so many.
I think I got to figure out just which one.
Oh fuck.
Which one's not gonna get me sleeping in my car tonight? That's
No, just be honest.
I don't know. You kind of threw me on the spot here, and I haven't even thought about this really. I mean, because everything that we do, like, it just ends up working in the long run. But and a lot of the things that I would say really aren't like your fault. Like, I know that a lot of you not being able to like stop the mindless scroll through social media and stuff like that, like I think that'd probably be it. Like you focusing more on like the real world, but I know that that's not you.
Yeah.
So it's tough because
That's that's massive executive dysfunction and inattentiveness in my ADHD. It's the time blindness. Like I won't even notice, and I'll just be off in my own little world. And then like once I become aware, though, like I'm able to put it down. But becoming aware
if I could
is
change
a challenge.
If I could change any one thing, I think that I would figure out where the switch is inside of you and turn your sex drive up. That'd be the one thing that I change.
Hey, it's gotten better.
It's gotten better, but I would turn it to whatever the max is.
Well, at least it's not like it was a
69.
couple of years ago where it was like literally zero. Like
meds, bro.
Absolutely repulsed by it. Didn't understand the appeal. That was a wild time.
Yeah, so yeah. Like I said, the things that I would change about you aren't even really like actually your own fault. So I guess I wouldn't actually really change anything about you.
I mean, if you could take away my ADHD, that would be like, I would be fucking stoked. I would be so hyped if I were neurodivergent or neurotypical and no longer neurodivergent, because that's another way we're opposite too. Is I'm very neurodivergent and you are not. You are not. um if I were to change anything about you,
This was your question.
I know, but I think that I would change you picking up the things that I set down and thinking you're putting them away when actually you are causing my poor ADHD mind so much fucking distress. Like, I will know I'll know where a fucking bobby pin that is laying on the floor underneath my nightstand has been for 6 months, and I leave it there. Like, I intentionally leave it there, and I'm like, I'm gonna need this one day. And then this fool will come in and move the furniture so he can like dust and mop and vacuum and all of the nooks and crannies, and then he picks it up and puts it somewhere else, like where it belongs or where he thinks it belongs. And then I go, like, shortly after, I'm like, oh yeah, that one bobby pin, and it's not there anymore, and it's very upsetting. It's very upsetting.
Bro, so you cleaned the kitchen, which was nice, but then you took all the stuff that was supposed to go upstairs and get like put away, you just left it on the stairs. That's what actually happens. It's not me moving the stuff that you think you put away.
No.
You'll do something, but you won't finish it.
No.
That's not where your alcohol markers don't go on the stairs.
No. And then you do this thing.
We're going to cut this out.
No, you do this thing
is where the episode ends.
With the mail. Okay, so we have a mail holder behind.
She's talking about letters, not men.
We have a mail holder behind our front door. And instead of showing me what came in the mail, he puts it in the mail holder.
Oh no, where it goes.
That does not register for me at all. Like, those are things that we have already seen. Put them on the counter. Like, I had no idea I had a sweet postcard from my company saying, "Happy 6-year anniversary, Katie. We're so happy that you're still here with us." I had no idea I had that for like 3 weeks. 3 weeks went by before I finally saw it in the holder, because I walk by it every single day, but I don't see it. It does not register in my brain.
Okay, so here's what actually happened. The day that it came in the mail, I put it on the kitchen island, and it was there ever since. I did not put it in the mailbox. I don't know.
You
don't know
did.
What you're talking about.
I took it out of there and put it on the counter. Are you fucking kidding?
No, you didn't. I left it on the island for you to see because I knew it was important to you. It hadn't sat there for weeks.
Yes, it did!
I put it straight in there.
You big liar. No, I was the one that put it on the island. Yes, I am. I was looking for another piece of mail that I had already opened, pulled an envelope out, and it was sitting behind an envelope in there. And I was like, motherfucker. I was like, my company straight forgot about me.
Nope.
On my anniversary.
I took it out of the mailbox.
And there it was.
Put it on the island. And left it there.
Absolutely not. He is so full of shit. Like,
I'm not. I put it on the counter and left it there for you. The rest of the stuff I did put in the mailbox.
Are you going to tell the truth now?
That's what happened. I put it on the island for you to find. And that's where...
I just want to fucking flick you
probably because you've got some, I don't know, maybe you ADHD'd it.
I don't put things in that fucking thing.
I didn't put it in there.
I don't put things in there.
I didn't put it in there.
I don't put things in there. At all. Literally ever. That is where you put things.
We are opposites in the sense that I'm right and you are wrong. So we will see you guys next week.
Such a liar.
Hope you enjoyed the episode.
And as usual, drop us some questions that you'd like us to answer.
Yeah, because we didn't get any questions. Those questions that we had, we looked them up.
Rude as fuck.
I had I had to Google search some questions for couples.
Watch, there's like a whole slew of questions
They're in there somewhere.
Didn't even see. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. We love you guys. We appreciate your support. Make sure you rate this, like it if it's on YouTube, comment, leave us some questions, share it with a friend.
Yeah, you can leave questions on Spotify too.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was the thing. I think that a lot of people probably don't use that because all the other podcasts that I've seen, they don't have that option. I mean, they don't use
Well,
that.
I think it's a newer feature.
That could be it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Bye.